So welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs, important news items that featured in that day's newspaper in a very short span of time within 20 minutes. I know you guys are civil services aspirants, and because you're civil services aspirants, time is of the essence for you guys. Time is very important for you guys. Therefore, we won't be spending way more than 20 minutes on this lecture, and by just looking at this lecture and studying this lecture, you'll be able to cover the current affairs of today's newspaper. Make sure that you listen to this lecture carefully and give me your 100%. All right. Now, let me tell you beforehand, I have shortlisted important news items from today's newspaper, the important ones. There were other news items as well, but they were not that important from civil services perspective. So I've only shortlisted those news items which are important from the perspective of civil services examination. All right. And we are going to be covering those news items in a short span of time within 20 minutes. All right, so let's take a look at the topics of the day, or the topics we are going to cover in this particular lecture. So they are in total 4 topics. So here are today's topics. PM Modi is in Brunei, and Brunei is an important country in Southeast Asia, and it is important for India's Indo-Pacific vision and Act East policy. So we'll talk about this visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Brunei. Then government is saying that we will come out with a national policy on farmer producer organization very soon. So what are FPOs? How are they important? We'll talk about this. Then recently, Department of Biotechnology actually came out with a policy called BioE3 Policy. Now, what is this policy? How important this policy is? We'll talk about this. And in the end, we'll talk about a multilateral air exercise called Tarang Shakti. First phase of that air exercise took place in Tamil Nadu, and the second phase that was going on, it took place in Jodhpur, Rajasthan. So what is this air exercise, Tarang Shakti? We'll talk about this. Which countries are participating in it? We'll talk about that too. As you know, defense-related news are also important from the perspective of civil services prelims examination, right? So we'll be covering these news items. All right? Okay. Then let's straight away start with topic number 1, which is Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Brunei. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi reached the Sultanate capital, Bandar Seri Begawan. So basically, Brunei is an Islamic country, and Brunei is known as Brunei Darul Islam. Okay, so it's an Islamic country. It's a sultanate. That means it is a monarchy. It's not democracy, it's monarchy. And its capital is Bandar Seri Begawan. So Prime Minister came there and he held bilateral talks with Sultan Haji Hassan al Bolkiah. Okay, now the topics of the talks were ranging from commercial issues to cultural to defense ties. Okay, remember the official name of Brunei is Brunei Darul Islam. That means a country for Islam. Now PM Modi tweeted in his tweet, landed in Brunei Darul Islam, looking forward to strong ties with nations, especially in boosting commercial and cultural linkages. Now this visit by Prime Minister Modi is special because it is the first bilateral visit by an Indian Prime Minister to Brunei. Brunei's leader, Brunei Sultan, has visited India many times, but this is the first time Prime Minister Narendra Modi is visiting Brunei bilaterally. And the diplomatic relationship between the two countries started 40 years ago. So this year also marked the 40-year anniversary of the diplomatic relationship between India and Brunei Darul Islam. So remember this fact. All right. Now, why is Brunei significant? Why did Prime Minister Modi visited this country? Why is it significant? First of all, Brunei lies in Southeast Asia, and India has this policy called Act East Policy, plus India has an Indo-Pacific vision. Now, Brunei, because of its geographical location, plays an important role and is an important partner in that area. Plus, the two countries have been cooperating in the sector of space. India established a telemetry tracking and command station in Brunei in 2000, way back in 2000, okay? Now, telemetry tracking and command station, what does this station do? This station actually tracks and maneuvers and gives command to India's satellites. Because satellites are given commands from the ground station, those ground stations are known as telemetry tracking and command station. So a satellite should move left, right, anything you want to make a satellite do is controlled by a ground station, and one of our ground stations is in Brunei. So Brunei actually helps us in that area, helps us track our satellites. Plus, there is defense cooperation between the two countries. An MOU was signed in 2016, which allowed Navy ships and Coast Guard ships to visit each other's shores. So Indian ships visit Brunei, Brunei naval ships and Coast Guard ships visit India. Okay, so that was the agreement. Now, what sort of agreements have happened in the past? Okay, So first of all, Sultan Haji has visited India many a times. He was also a chief guest at the Republic Day parade along with other ASEAN leaders. Regular visits by Indian Navy and Coast Guard ships. Okay. And Brunei has a strong Indian diaspora. There are many Indians to the amount of 14,000 are already living in Brunei, and they have occupied good posts. Like there are many Indian doctors, teachers who have contributed to Brunei's success. Okay. So this is the basic background of relationship between India and Brunei. All right. Remember, Brunei is an Islamic country and it's a monarchy. Okay. Now let's move on to our second news item, which is a national policy on FPOs. FPOs stand for Farmer Producer Organization. Okay. Now, what is this FPO basically? Look, India has a very large number of small and marginal farmers. Okay. Now, these small and marginal farmers are at a disadvantage because they are small, their bargaining power is low, they are easily exploited by other people, they are easily exploited by wholesalers as far as price is concerned, right? Because they are small. But what if these small and marginal farmers come together and form a collective called FPO? And this FPO is basically like a company. So all these farmers come together, they pool their land, they pool their resources, they form a company and run this company like a company. Then they become big because they have pooled their resources. And that is how these farmers stand to gain. Now, India knows that if India's agricultural sector has to improve, we need more farmer producer organizations because these farmer producer organizations actually give some strength to the farmers. That is why Center is planning a national policy on FPO. Basically, at the beginning of this year, Agricultural Ministry had set up a committee under the leadership of Faiz Ahmed Kidwai. He's an IAS officer, okay, within Ministry of Agriculture. So under his leadership, a committee was set up and he was given the task of framing a national policy on FPOs. And he said that that policy is coming soon. Plus, government has already taken various initiatives in the past regarding FPO. In 2020, government came out with a scheme which was around 6,865 crore rupees, under which government had set an objective of setting up 10,000 FPOs by March 2024. Though government achieved this target, we have already set up 9,000. We were short of 1,000, but 9,000 is also quite a lot. So government is doing something in the direction of establishing FPOs so that farmers can gain out of it. Okay. Now, let's talk a bit about FPOs, what FPOs are. So FPO is basically a legal entity. It is a legal entity in which farmers collectivize. They come together. And it is owned and managed by farmers themselves. Okay. It leverages the power of economy of scale. Now, this is a very important concept in the subject of economics, economy of scale. Economy of scale means that as soon as you become a big producer, your costs, average costs come down and your profit increases. So small producers have little profit, they are less productive. Big producers have more profit, they are more productive. That is why these small and marginal farmers were at a loss. But now if they come together, they will get the advantage of economy of scale in production, in marketing, and they will increase their productivity, they will increase their profits. Okay. Now, it is a legal entity. That means it is registered under an act of parliament. So these FPOs are either registered under Companies Act or they are registered as cooperatives under the Cooperative Society Act of different states. Okay. So an FPO can be established either under Companies Act or under Cooperative Societies Act. Okay. Now, what are the benefits? Various. Increased bargaining power of these farmers, better price discovery. If they'll be able to pool their resources, they'll have money. They'll use that money to invest further in their field. So all these benefits are there with FPOs, and that is why government is pushing hard as far as FPOs are concerned. Now, what other initiatives has the government taken already with regarding FPOs? So first, government came out with this scheme. We have talked about this in 2020, which was called Formation and Promotion of New FPOs. It was a central sector scheme. Now, what do we mean by central sector scheme? Central sector schemes are which are entirely funded by central government. Okay. Centrally sponsored schemes are those which are partly funded by central government, partly by state. So this scheme was a central sector scheme. It was entirely funded by the government, central government. Okay. To provide financial assistance up to 18 lakh per FPO for a period of 3 years. Then there was this Honey FPO program. Agricultural Ministry launched 5 FPOs for producing honey that would be set up with the help of National Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Federation of India, NAFED. Agricultural Infrastructure Fund, under which FPOs would be provided loans for investment, and those loans, a 3% interest subvention. Okay. Plus, there is a dedicated FPO cell in Ministry of Agriculture that takes care of the policies regarding FPOs. Okay, so these are the steps that the government has already taken regarding FPOs. Okay, now let's move on to our third news item, which is BioE3 Policy. Now, it has a full form. The full form of BioE3 Policy is Biotechnology for Economy, Environment and Employment. So, BioE3. Now, it was recently launched by Department of Biotechnology. Okay, DBT. The policy aims at fostering high-performance biomanufacturing. So basically, the aim is that we'll use biotechnology to establish manufacturing units. So biomanufacturing, which will boost economy because these manufacturing would lead to boost in the GDP, right? Biotechnology would also boost environment. Why? Because these will be sustainable manufacturing units. Okay, and obviously, if there are going to be biomanufacturing factories, then it would generate employment also. Now, this policy aligns with net zero carbon economy. India aims to become a net zero carbon emission economy by 2070. We won't emit carbon dioxide into the atmosphere on net terms, right? So this policy is aligned with that. That means these biomanufacturing units would be sustainable. Plus, it would also promote circular bioeconomy. You know, circular bioeconomy, in which resources are not wasted, they are recycled and reused. All right. Now, what are the objectives of this BioE3 policy? There are 6 main objectives. First of all, innovation in biotechnology and entrepreneurship, so that this innovation, this scientific innovation, leads to establishment of biotechnology startups, right? Then establish biomanufacturing and bio AI hubs. Now, bio AI hubs means when you combine biotechnology with AI. Okay. Then expansion of India's skilled workforce. Then align these biotechnology products with lifestyle for environment. The objective given by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, lifestyle for environment. Your lifestyle should be such that it doesn't pollute the environment, it doesn't aid global warming. So these biomanufacturing units would manufacture products which would help your lifestyle, basically, right? You'll be using sustainable products. Then development of regenerative bioeconomy models, employment and all that stuff. Now, listen to me. This is the screenshot, very important one. You have to study this. Look, this policy is going to focus on 7 pillars. Okay. One is they'll produce high-value bio-based chemicals. Then we'll make biopolymers and bioenzymes. Then smart proteins for medicine and nutritional. Then biotherapeutics. Therapeutics means equipment that are used in your body. Then climate-resilient agriculture, carbon capture, capturing carbon from the atmosphere so as to reduce global warming, marine and space research. So on these 7 pillars, this new policy is going to be focused on. All right. So you have to remember this and also remember these objectives. Okay. And now let's move on to last topic of the day, which is air exercise Tarang Shakti. So the second phase of multilateral air exercise or military exercise of fighter jets, Tarang Shakti, is underway in Jodhpur, Rajasthan. Now this is the second phase. The first phase was in Tamil Nadu. Now remember, it is the largest international air exercise ever conducted in India. So India has never conducted as big an exercise ever as Tarang Shakti. India basically invited 51 countries to come with their fighter jets and participate in this exercise. Again, the aim of this exercise is to strengthen strategic relationships with our friends from the international community. So these 51 countries whom we have called, these are our strategic partners, these are our friends in the international domain. Okay. So we haven't called countries like Pakistan and China, okay, friendly countries. Now about the exercise, phase 1 of this exercise was in Sulur, Tamil Nadu. It got conducted from August 6 to August 14, and 4 important countries participated in this along with India, France, Germany, Spain and UK. Phase 2 was held in Jodhpur from September 1st to 14, and Australia, Bangladesh, Greece, Singapore, UAE, USA participated in this. Now, it was a unique opportunity for these nations to collaborate. Again, it would inculcate a feeling of among these countries because these countries are friends in the international domain. Okay? All right. And with that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I hope it added value to your preparation, though it would add more value if you're consistent and regular with this lecture series. By the way, if you want the detailed notes for this lecture, if you want a detailed PDF file for this lecture, where all the information is written down, well, you can download that PDF file from our Telegram channel. Okay, the link to our Telegram channel is given in the comment section below this video. So go to that Telegram channel, download that PDF and study that PDF so that you are able to consolidate your current affairs of the day. All right. On that note, I'll be signing off. Thank you so much, everyone. And I'll see you next time with September 5's current affairs. Thank you.